What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dog back again. I hope everyone's fit and well. Yes, another podcast, another transfer talk, another hour show. Get involved, people. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and a lot to talk about the transfers, as you know. Right, let's get the panel in. First of all, we've got the man himself, Rads. How you feeling, Rads?
Good, Dor. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Any more content on your channel?
Yep, there'll be stuff coming up. I'm a bit like you though, kind of scrapping for ideas at the moment. So
we're
stay
scrapping.
tuned.
We're scrapping. Make sure everyone subscribes to Raz. Next up, we've got the man himself, Jack Grealish. Adam, Astor, how you doing, Adam?
It's not, I'm going off Grealish now. I'm going for Erling Haaland.
Oh, days. And last but not least, he's always late to every podcast that he turns up. He's late. Man himself, young Gennaro, Lennon.
Come on, man. What are we saying?
I'm
never late. Hey, fashionably late.
Fashionably late. He's always late. People get at him. Get at him. Get at him. Right, so people, as you know, traffic talk, there's loads to talk about. Dean Henderson, Brennan Johnson, Kid Archer, everyone. So if there's anything we want to talk about, people, get in the comments as well. And people as well, where are you watching this stream as well? I'd love to know. Before I start a topic, first of all, what Dave, 6 million is too much, but we know you won't get as much. It certainly seems like teams and fans, we need to keep on, not 60. Ouch. Okay. I'm hearing 50 million for Hendo. Paul, high hopes for interested to see what's going on. Hopes players come in and go in. And Jasmine says, you Reds. And that's another one for Christian. 100 million for Henderson is a good 10 million for Henderson is a good deal. It is a good deal. Right, let's start. Let's start with you, Rads. And people in the comments as well. We're gonna get everyone's opinion on this. Dean Henderson, let's start with Dean Henderson. It still hasn't been done, but how much would you pay for Dean Henderson? Because it's been banded around 20, 30. How much would you pay? And people in the comments as well, get involved.
I do see why some people are saying 30 is a lot, because it is. But I think because of how important he was last season, and you look at our goalkeeper situation right now, it's a bit perilous with just Wayne Henderson and Horvath coming back in. You know, it's not ideal at all. So we need at least one goalkeeper, in my opinion. And I think it's a no-brainer that Henderson's one of them with his situation at United, what he did for us last season, even though he missed half of it. I think the fact so many of us want him back says an awful lot about how well he did. So I think 25 million, 30 million is fine. But if these new reports that have been coming out for 15 million are true, then that's a bargain, in my opinion.
Bargain.
You know, it'd be amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if he paid more, but yeah, 15 million would be an excellent deal for Dino.
What about you, Adam? What are you reckon, Brad, or do you think we should be more?
I think 30 max really. I wouldn't. As great as Dean Henderson has been until he got injured, I don't think he's worth more than 30 million. In all due respect, I won't pay any more than 30. I think that would be the limit of the transfer fee I would make a bid for. I don't know. We might get lucky to pay 25 mil for it, but I think it's got to be 30 at the most. I won't pay more than 30, and if Manchester United won't pay more, I'm sorry, but we've got to probably look at other options. As much as I want Henderson back at Forest, and I love the guy, we just got to think of FFP and all that. And yeah, I think 30 is just a reasonable price tag really for Dean Henderson.
What about you, Len? Do you think we need Henderson and people as well? Let me just throw a spanner in the works. If we don't get Henderson, what other keepers out there we could get? Because I know 15 million, 20 million has been bargained around, but any keepers that you would want, get in the comments below. Len, what would you want? Do you want Henderson back? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think with Hendo getting injured last season, I think with us getting Navas in for the short-term contract that he did, obviously he was a good servant to the club for the amount of time we had him. But let's be honest, obviously our expectations was Hendo as our first team keeper throughout the entire season. And for the time that he was in goal, I don't really think he I don't know. It's tough for a keeper in the Premier League like Henderson that hasn't really had the game time at Man U and coming to like a club like Forest where it's it's going to be a tough season. You know, so I do think we should be focusing on him, and obviously a left foot. We'll get into that. But yeah, like Adam said, I don't think I pay heavy because I don't really think we need to. I don't think as long as Man U don't take the mick, I won't pay more than 20 at least. But I do think he's a crucial signing if we get him. To be fair.
Is there as well? I just mentioned other keepers that are banding about as well. Rad, if we do get Henderson, what other keepers are about that do you think Forest should get if we don't get him?
First one that springs to mind is that Croatian lad that we were linked with in January. Livakovic, I think that's how you say his name. He did great at the World Cup. I've not seen much of him other than that, but you know, I think he'll be a very good alternative. Not sure if we're still in for him, but hopefully, with all due respect to that lad, hopefully we don't have to go in for him because we can get this Henderson deal sorted out.
Adam?
Like Rad said, I think being realistic, him really, who was linked with in January. I'm just trying to be realistic. Who else would really be there, that option, really? And obviously we've got to think of the backup options, you know, whether if we're going to keep even Orvath for starters or we're going to let him go out on Luton on a permanent, only time will tell. But really, like Rad said, I think really the Croatian goalkeeper, I can't think really realistically who we could possibly get in. I mean, I would have had, I've got his name now. He went to Manchester United on loan from Newcastle. I've got his name now. But he was... Dubravka, yeah.
Really?
Dubravka. Yeah, just as a backup, I won't play him week in and week out. You know what I mean? But like a good backup keeper, you know, like a cut goalkeeper. You know, something like that. I wouldn't play him week in and week out. Not at the moment when really we're trying to aim higher in the table. So it's just there as a backup, really. I wouldn't unless you know if we did get Dean Henderson and he was to be injured. I'd have just seen on the chat Begovic. Not a bad option, plenty of experience. A very good backup keeper. You know, been at Chelsea, Stoke City, Bournemouth. A very good goal. I've always been a big fan of Begovic. I think a long time ago he scored a goal from all the way back from his goal, didn't he? All the way to
Stoke.
To Stoke, wasn't it? Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, that's another good option. But you know, with his experience and everything, and. But then, where would that leave Wayne Anderson? You know what I mean? Where if Begovic was to come in, you know, they're pretty much kind of the same age.
I think we need, and it's my people opinion. I think we need at least 3 goalkeepers, experienced goalkeepers in the Premier League. Because, as you know, Henderson was injured as well, so we have to bring Navas in as well. So, people in the chat, what would you want? What goalkeeper would you want? If you didn't get Henderson in the chat, who would you want? Next up. It's been going around for like at least 3 or 4 weeks as well about Brennan Johnson. Let me ask you, Lennon. What's he trying around now? I don't know what is he doing. Turn your phone, Lennon.
It looks like he's doing a secret selfie. He's trying to multitask or something.
That's what he's in Manchester. That's what we live in Manchester. Stop posing. I don't know. He's gone now. People like Rads, Brennan Johnson. Everyone's been. Oh, where's he gone? Where's Alan gone? Freaking out. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's leaving. Yeah. Rads, let's talk about Brennan Johnson. The price. Everyone's been saying a price: 30, 40, 50, and 60. Like as you know, I'll put in a thumbnail. People in the chat. How much is Brennan Johnson worth right now? Right now, there's 61 people in the comments. How much do you think he's worth? And if a suitable offer came, would you sell him? Let me start with you, Rads.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one to answer because none of us want him to leave, you know. So I think we'd have to see quite a big fee coming for him. I think everyone's saying, oh, I want like 50, 60, 70 million for Brennan. I do think that's a bit steep for how much we'd realistically get. I don't think we would get like 70 million for Brennan. I'd say in terms of what he's worth, I'd say 45 to 50 million to push in terms of his value. Only I would see Forest trying to push as much as possible because obviously we don't want to sell him. So if we are going to sell him, we're going to try and get a huge fee, which is what always happens these days. I don't know. I mean, 30 million is certainly it's an insult to what he's done for us.
And to Brentford as well. Like, would you, like,
exactly,
right, and people as well. I'll get Adam's opinion in a minute. But Rad, would you sell it to Brentford?
Well, this is another thing as well. Brentford, they're rising, but I wouldn't want him to go to Brentford because I think there's much better options. I know Villa have kind of been thinking about him as well. It would probably make a bit more sense, Villa, but if he was to leave, I'd want him to go to a club that he's going to play first and foremost because it would be frustrating for him to go to like Arsenal just to not, just to sit on the bench. I'd want him to at least go and play some football, even though it wouldn't affect us anymore. I wouldn't want us just lose our star asset just for him to not play for his new club. So, hopefully we can fed off interest, give him a new contract, honestly. Give him a pay rise or whatever. Keep him at the club.
Before I get, I'm going to go through people's comments as well. And I said, people in the comments, how much do you think Brennan's worth? 30, 40, 50, even 60. His first season in the Premier League, and he's learning. So, first of all, let me go for check Harvey. Harvey says 50. Demir says 45 plus. Matt says 60 mil, but 75 to sell. 75 is a bit, okay. It's a bit crazy, but why not? Gary says, how you doing, Gary? Even the chaps don't want to sell Brennan, but cannot turn down 60. Can get 2 quality players for that. 100% you can. Lloyd says 60 million. How you doing, Lloyd? Definitely don't sell from Demir. Is this your mate, Rads? LGP? That's your mate, innit?
He watches my channel a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to LGP. I've seen him through a lot. His time was just 35 million, but it's worth million, 60 million for the club. Gamer says 60 million easy. A lot of people say 60 million. I don't know about that. Chris says 80 million scores goals, could score money with better service. David says 80 million for Johnson was priceless as well. John, this from Russell. John is better than Anti-Gordon after he was 40 million, 45. If he's such a bracket, which would be 5 to 60, but this is talk of to get a new contract. Right, here he is. He's back again. Here he is. He's back. Yo, what is wrong with you?
It's not my fault.
Yeah, it's always not your fault. Always one in there.
It's not my fault. I promise you, it's a firm.
Right. I'm going through the comments, Lennon. Lloyd says Gordon went for 5, didn't he? He did. No, he went for 50. He went for 50. Paul said, hope he doesn't go worth than 30 million. And why to Brentford? If he wants to let him go, we want him to stay. Simon says 95 million. Dave said, Rad, he's young and easy worth more.
Yeah, I'm worth 70 million easily.
Rad is worth 60 million. Ryan says 30 to 40. Pete Walsh says 70 million. Mark says, how you doing, Mark? Even panel. I can't see John going into the end of the current season at the earliest. Gregory says, hi. Lennon, we're talking about Brennan.
Hello. Yes.
Wait. Let me ask Adam first, and I'll ask you, Lennon. Adam, how much do you think he's worth?
I think because he's still a young player, and you think not long ago he was playing in League One, and if he got to the Championship, and I don't know if Houghton never wanted him, he probably would have been.
He never rated him.
He didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No. And I think at the time he would have been worth probably a couple of million, maybe. But because his rise and everything, and you've got to think of the time span. I think he's worth 45 at the moment, maybe to 50 to a push. But if I was Forest, I'd just be a bit more demanding and just think, maybe long term. And some teams might think that they might splash more on him. They may pay 70, 80 million, thinking of the long term project for him. You know what I mean? Like, look, that's what Newcastle are probably trying to do with Anthony Gordon, thinking of the long term project and everything.
Yeah, but do you think he's better though? Do you think he's better than Anthony Gordon? Because Gordon went for 15 million to Newcastle. He didn't really play much at the end of last season for Newcastle. Do you think he's worth better than Gordon right now?
Yes, based on his performances within the past couple of seasons, I'd say yeah, absolutely. I can't really say much for Gordon at the moment because next season he might shine at Newcastle. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, he scored last. Okay, it was England 21s, but he scored last night with against White assist, of course. But at the same time, he's still got a ways to go, and he is about near enough Johnson's age. So it's thinking about the long term. You know what I mean? Thinking it's like what I know they're different class of others, but look at Real Madrid with Jude Bellingham. Thinking of the long term. Thinking, along the way, and perhaps if we push it to maybe 75 to 80 million, maybe a team, at least in Europa League, might want to set that gamble and pay that much for him. And if it gets that point, then okay, you take it any day of the week. Any day of the week, happy days. But he's worth 45 to 50 million, and if they don't want to do that and pay 80 odd million, then maybe just I don't know. It's only time will tell. But if a team's willing to do that, then I'd put it high demand for him. I really would. I'd try and push the boat as much as possible. If teams don't want to do it, keep him another season or two. And then maybe if he carries on the way he is, which I believe he will, because this is Johnson. He wants to grow and grow and grow and grow as a player. So I think at this stage it will get to that. But like I said, if teams are not don't want to pay the big bucks for him, 70, 80 million or anything like that, then keep him. You know what I mean? And I read what Darren Fletcher was saying, that Brennan Johnson, I think he needs at least another year at Forest, or maybe 2 to a push, until he goes elsewhere. So, but like I said, only time will tell. But I think honestly, if these top teams, maybe top 6 or whatever, are playing Europa League or maybe miraculously a team in the top 4 want to push the boat and pay that much for him and pay maybe 75 to 80 million, then take it any day of the week. Just be in high demand about it.
Lennon, right? Brennan Johnson. The argument is how much do you think he's worth right now? Lennon, is he listening? Lennon, why is he not listening? We can't hear you. Yeah,
you know what? This has been I'm listening.
we can't talk. I can hear you now. I can hear you. Talk.
Days, bro. One sec. Hang on. Bear with me. Alright. The talk of the tan recently with Johnson. For me, personally, you're on about Gordon and stuff, but like, everyone, they're comparing the two. Me and my friends had a conversation about this the other day because these lot support Chelsea and the Arsenals and the Man U's. And was on about Gordon and Johnson if he leaves, whatever. I think Johnson's 10 times the player that Gordon is currently. But if I was a team like Newcastle or Villa that are coming in for him, I'd be, as Forest, I'd probably be looking around the 50 million origin or 60. Because you've got to understand, like Johnson, if he goes onto a team like Villa who are playing European football and he's a part of that, then it's just going to develop him massively as a player as well. Because you're getting used to playing, your Europa Leagues, your bigger cups, and it's just going to develop him and mature him as a player. But on the other hand, I do feel he should spend at least one more season with us, just so he's got another feel of another year in the Forest team that maybe other teams can get a look at, and maybe it can increase his price worth from this season. Because who knows, Johnson could have an amazing season this season, regardless of who he goes to. But yeah, who knows, man? It's money talks, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
at the end of the day.
So you think between 50 and 60 million he's worth?
50 and 60, most definitely, yeah.
People comments. How much do you think Brennan Johnson is worth at the time? Me personally, I think he's worth on his first time in the season in Premier League, between 40 and 50, pushing 55. That's me. That's my opinion. So people, if you disagree, get in the comments as well, people. We'll ask you, Brad. Do you think Brennan needs one more season with Forest this season? Because if he wants to establish himself as a Premier League player, I think he needs it with Forest. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it definitely needs another year. You know, if you think about it, we always mention his rise, as we have done already. To go from League One, Championship, Premier League, you know,
Welsh international.
yeah, and you know he's now an established player for Wales as well. And you know, to the Championship year, the Premier League year of Forest, for then him immediately then after his 1 year in the Premier League, he goes to another Premier League club that are technically better than us. And if it was someone like Brentford, I don't think they're much better than us either. So it'd be,
I don't think they are better than us.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. You know, so it would be a sideways move, in my opinion, unless he goes to like a top 7 club. I just don't think it's worth it for him, and certainly not for us to lose him. Because even if we get a lot of money for him, it's all about how we reinvest it. Who on earth replaces Brennan? You know, we can go out and sign another winger, but he might not have the same, you know, attributes as what Brennan has to this team. So for me, from a Forest point of view and his point of view, I think he should stay for at least another season. Then, you know, see how he is this time next year. If he's even better, which I think he will be, then maybe it might, yeah, based on the situation, it might make more sense. But right now, I think he needs to be staying at Forest for at least another season.
So, people in the comments, what do you think? Brennan Johnson, stay for one more season. How much do you think he's worth? Get in the comment section now. Right, the Johnson debate's done. The next topic. Me and Lennon had an argument about a certain player yesterday. And let me get Lennon. I'll get you last. Let me get Rads and Adam first because
go on.
because Kelechi Iheanacho from Leicester, Nigerian striker. You know Tyrell Wanley. You know Dennis. Blah blah blah. How old is he? I don't know how old he is. He's about. Is it?
Iheanacho?
Yeah, he's about 27, 28
like
or something.
27 in there.
Right. Let me ask Rads. People in the chat, get involved with this one. Do you want Kelechi Iheanacho at Nottingham Forest? Yes or no? Adam, you first. What do you think?
I think yes, because like he knows I won you very well. But like I said,
26. He's 26 years old.
26, right?
26.
Okay. You've got to think. Okay, yes, Dennis was in a poor Watford side. He was getting goals, and obviously, look at him now. It didn't turn out well, right? Which has been a real shame, really. But Iheanacho, I watched him so many times. Well, in that really poor Leicester team, you can forget Vardy. He's just a dinosaur nowadays. But he was that other striker that really stood out. You know, he can come on from the bench and get some goals. And for me, he was that only striker that really stood out because Daka really didn't do anything for them. But for me, Iheanacho did. And I'm not saying we're going to play him week in, week out over one. You're not in a million years. And one, he's a better player than he is at the moment. But because of their relationship, their friendship with the Nigerian side, and what they've built and everything, and they get on so well, I think he'd be a good place at Forest. I think he'd have a good place at Forest. I'll be honest. I don't think Cooper's going to play him week in, week out. He's going to choose a 1 year over him any day of the week, and you know who wouldn't really. I'm being realistic. And if he does come in, then obviously we can try and maybe get rid of Dennis. I'm taking nothing away from Dennis. I think it's just not worked out for Dennis at all. So for me, Iheanacho will not be a bad option. I think he'd be a good option. I've always liked him. I mean, even when we battered Leicester in the FA Cup 4-1, well, nearly a couple of seasons ago now, he was the only player that really stood out for me like that. Okay, he scored the goal, which Samba made a mistake, but he was the one who only stood out for me. You know, in that game, there's nobody else in that team that really, you know, made me think, oh, you know, he's threatening this, you know, this and that. You know, Iheanacho, I've watched him and he does work hard at times. I give him that. But for me, a good nice impact sub or something like that to come on from the bench, and you know, and if it comes to the worst with a 1 year, which hope to God it doesn't, because I absolutely love the beast. But the thing is, at the same time, he would not be a bad option. I think it'd be a good option based on that.
So Adam says yes to Nacho. Rads, what's your opinion? don't make Learner happy. Look how Learner's just smiling at this
I'm
moment.
on the spot here now. I'm sat on the fence. Like,
You can't do it. What? Yes or no?
Brad, you know the answer. No, he knows the answer already. He's going to say it. He's going to make me a very happy boy. You know what I'm saying? I need it. Go on.
honestly, no. I actually agree with what Adam.
Oh, Brad, come on! Come on!
Come on!
Nah.
You're right. Go out there.
Right, come on. Why? Why do you think?
Good out here. No, I just think it would be a good signing. Like it happens quite a lot. You see the best players leave the relegated clubs to go to another Premier League team. This is exactly that. And I think what we were already saying, he's already close friends with Awani, which I think is a big help. It's not like he's just a left back and a striker. They're playing the same positions, so that's a really big help for each other, I reckon. And in the Paul Leicester side, Iheanacho was one of the few bright spots from what I saw of him. I don't know how many goals he got for them last year, but I think it would be a good option. And if you're looking more importantly for us at the other options we've got besides Awani, I think we'd have to say Iheanacho is better than Wood and Surridge. As much as I like Surridge, I think he has to say he's better. So I think based off that, if you got Awani and then Iheanacho, it is better than what we've got currently away from Taiwo. So I can see Dawes very much disagreeing with us, but I'd take him honestly.
No, because I don't want this guy like go text him. Oh, I'll prove everyone wrong, lardy dog. But right, before I get there, and this is my opinion on him. Right, I just feel right. Was that a poor Leicester side last season, or was it just a poor management? Because he didn't really start games, did he, for Leicester? And that I'm not saying would it be a good backup to Taiwo Awani? Could you disrespect Dennis? Like I personally think Dennis, yeah, he had parts last season of being good, but for me, Lennon, come on, why do you think Posh should sign him?
Well, see, now I can get this off my chest now. See, wrong.
Oh, here we go now. Here we go.
No, I just look at it like this year. I look at Iheanacho here, and I think him coming. Obviously, we signed Dennis, and I'm a massive. Well, was a massive fan of Dennis. Obviously, he's still with the club, and I still think there's a player in there. But like Adam said, I just don't think it's worked out for him at the club. He's scored a couple of goals, hasn't he? But I just don't think it was the right. I don't know if I can say it was the right move for him, but I just like I said, sometimes it don't work out for players. But with Iheanacho, yeah, obviously I've followed him for quite a few years. Even when he was with Man City before, I think he came through development with them. I'm not too sure, but I know he was there.
Yeah.
But like he's got a decent resume at the end of the day, and he's been around for a while. He's got Premier League experience, and I think. And he's got a lot more than someone like Dennis. Dennis went to Watford, played a season in the Prem, surprised quite a few people, scored a good few goals for them. And I think Iheanacho's been with Leicester for quite a few seasons now, and he scored a few goals pretty much every season that he's played for them. I just think if Taiwo carries on this form, fingers crossed he does, into next season, then I don't really think a striker touches him in our team. But, we like to play a two up top, don't we, to be fair, or whatever. We play like quite a strange formation, but it works. But I think he'd be a perfect, like Adam said, I think he'd be a perfect player to bring off the bench because from what I've seen from him is, he does work hard and you've got them links that he's got with Taiwo as well, Nigeria. And obviously he knows a few players from, you'll know a few players that he's played against in the Premier League as well. At the end of the day, if he comes... I just think it'd be a clever move for Forest. I think bringing a striker like that into the club, it adds more goals, doesn't it? And I think he'd offer a lot more than what Sam Surridge would offer, and Dennis anyway.
So other people, okay, it's 3-1. All right, then I'll give you. You can get at me now.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. I
want to mention something though as well. Sorry, I think. You have to excuse me, my Japanese is not great. But I tell you what, there's one player I'd love to be at Forest. I know he might cost a bit. Is it Faguai? YG, what his name is? The striker got long.
The one at Celtic.
Yes, the Japanese striker. Yeah,
Right, yeah. We'll talk about it later on. Yeah, we'll talk about it later on.
Yeah. All right.
But okay, people in the comments, what do you think? Kate and actually yesterday, because there's a good comment from Mark as well. Wouldn't we lose birthday for AFCON, which would leave us short-handed on the strike front? That's my point. I think that's my whole point on this argument about getting him. Because if we get him, we lose him and Tabawani. And if Dennis is still at Forest, seems like he could be going, he'll be gone as well. So personally, that's the reason I won't have him. But people in the comments, what do you think in the comment section? Do you want him at Forest? Yes or no? Right. There's half an hour gone. If you can do a massive favour for me, please do hit the like button if you can. Another player that me and Len had an argument with about.
Yeah, come on, bring it on. Bring it on.
Adam and Rads, again, get involved with this one. People in the comments as well. Man City on 21 star at College Borders. I think it was reported to ES Sport. 19-year-old Portuguese prospect, 11 million moved to Forest. I can get my opinion at this end of what everyone says. Rads, this guy has not played man's football. I'm talking about man's football, like Premier League, Championship, not been abroad. He did very well for the under-23s. People in the comments, if you know who I'm talking about, his name is Carlos Borges. I think he won the cup for Man City under-23, he's top scorer as well. Do Forest need him right now, Rads?
Well, I think.
Be honest. Don't sit on the fence. Be honest.
No. He knows what he wants to say. You're not trying to persuade him. Get out of his head. Rads, be honest, man.
No.
Be honest.
On the surface, he looks like a real talent. I get what Dore's saying that he's not played first team football.
Yeah.
But if you've scored, I did check his
scored
stats.
55 goals.
Yeah.
Leonard, but it's not Premier League football.
Dirk, he's going to get into a whole debate with us. I swear.
Wait. Stop there. Rads, carry on, Rads. Then we'll get there in last.
Yeah. I just think the amount of goals he scored, yes, it's at youth level. It's still impressive. And he's, yes, I've not seen much of him, but he's very quick and physical, seemingly. And we could do with a winger. And we've seen Cooper, he's very good at working with youngsters as well. So I think if anyone's going to try and help this lad settle into first team football, Cooper would be a very good option because what he's doing.
11 million, though. 11 million for a guy that's not played top tier football.
Yeah, but that's kind of light for a team like us now, isn't it?
I think as well, though, actually. Look at Lavia at Southampton.
That's what I said.
Wait, Leonard. Wait, Leonard. Let me have my say.
But
what happened to him in Southampton?
He was the best player.
Wait,
Leonard.
Yeah, but if he comes to Forest, are we going to use? If we get right, I don't know. If he plays good, are we going to use him as every investment, or is he going to be at Forest for long term?
It's an investment, isn't it? And even if so,
I don't want to be like a Brighton.
Hear me out.
No. Let me get Rad and Adam. No, let me get Rad and Adam, and then I get you.
That's fair.
Rad. Are you finished what you're saying, Rad, or you want to carry on?
Pretty much, essentially, I don't think it'd be a bad signing.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
Rad wants him. That's what he's trying to say. Stop sitting on the fence. Adam,
Totally.
Do you know who he is?
Yes, I do. Yeah, and I've watched him. I wouldn't sign him, however, but go for. I don't know if Pep Guardiola is going to allow this to happen to a fellow Premier League side. I think just give him a year loan deal, just to.
Thank you.
Develop him even more.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
You said not.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
only for the time being. And if Pep Guardiola is thinking about other options after the season's over, then maybe sign him permanently. I'll just say a year's loan is what he needs just for the time being, because you never know. Because if we sign for 11 million and Cooper, it could be like the Surrey situation. We don't want that to happen, do we?
Exactly.
Right? We don't want that to happen. I love Sam Surridge, always means business, always love the guy, right? But we don't want another Sam Surridge situation, right? So I think the sensible option for me, for Forest personally, if Pep Guardiola will allow this to happen, is get him on a year loan deal, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? He's not going to be eligible to play, is he, against Man City? So,
yeah, right, Adam, let me just go in. The only thing about that, right, if you get him on a loan, my problem as a Forest fan, right, I want players who's played like one. You know, if he had 1 year it could be in the Championship, Premiership. I don't know, playing the foreign team. 1 year. This guy has not played proper football. And we're paying 11 million for a player. There's a comment from Gary Marriott. Shout out to Gary. We can't afford investment at the moment. We need players that can come straight into the team so we can establish ourselves. That's my point. That's my point on the thing. A guy that costs 11 million that's not played man's football. That's my point.
But there's a good example of a player. You know, you probably heard of him, young Irish lad who's broke into the Brighton team and got goals. Ian Ferguson, a good example.
Yeah,
Ian Ferguson, a good example, right? Never played proper men's football, just like Thomas Borges. Broke into that Brighton team. What did that De Zerbi do? Gave him that chance, and what happened? He got scoring some goals when he had his chances. You never know, do you? You never know. It's football.
I agree.
You don't know what they do until they're on that pitch. That's all I'm going to say.
I would him on a loan. I agree. I do agree. 11 million's a lot to pay for someone that's not played first team football. So maybe a loan.
I would have rather paid 11 million for Viti Ocares from Coventry. Then
exactly. He's played man football. He's proven it in the Championship. I'm just a bit worried about. I just don't want to be. What do you call it? Like this. We want to be. I want to be like a Brighton. I want to be better than a Brighton, but I want to be like. I want players that's played experienced football. This guy is doing well for under 23s. But Leonard, last but not least, give us why which Forest should sign him.
You can hear me, innit?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, right. So my point was, the kid's 19, I think he is.
Yes, he is.
What my point was, seeing his stats and obviously seeing how he plays, the debate we had, I could hear your points, but I could obviously hear mine because I was stating them. I'm thinking, if you're spending 11 million, which you probably won't even pay in terms of negotiation, because if Forest could get the negotiation price down, you never know, because he's going to be a star, and he's a future star.
Yeah,
They'll probably keep the price at that. I agree on the loan thing as well. That could be a good thing to do. Maybe loan him in and see how he gets on. But my point was, you said because he hasn't played men's football. There's been a lot of players like Lavia who's come from Man City, went to Southampton, been outstanding for them all season, even though they went down unfortunately for him. And he's made a career for himself now. Whereas as Arsenal,
Leonard, that's my point. If this guy comes to Forest, right, and we get relegated because of him, and then he just ships off.
No, but it's not. That's not my point, though. I'm just saying.
That's my point.
You can't. Yeah, but if you're looking at a guy that hasn't played men's football, who's 19 years of age, rated at 11 million, whatever he is, scored 55 goals. Even if it is at that level, that's an outstanding amount of goals for his age at that level, and it's not just it's not easy. It really ain't easy. And I'm just saying, look at people like Garnacho, for example, didn't play man's football, coming to the Man U team. This kid's in and out of the first team, on the bench, coming on, and even starting sometimes. And Man U fans rate him highly.
How old is he?
Garnacho. I think he's the same age.
He's played 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, I think he's the same age. I think he made his debut.
He played 2 seasons. Well, he's played 2 seasons. But that's the point. He's played 2 seasons at Man United. This guy has not played.
But he's not going to get in the Man City team, is he?
Oh, well, okay. So if Garnacho was at Man City, do you think he'll get in the first team?
I don't think he would. No. I think it's a lot easier for Garnacho to get into a team like Man U than it is for Borges to get into a team like Man City.
Because I mean,
Yeah, because with the likes of Grealish and Mahrez and that, yeah, 100%.
Look,
Very
Yeah,
good.
you've got no
right.
chance.
But the point is, right, look, and Adam, okay, you know, what's his name? Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, young winger, slowly getting to Man City team. If this guy was so good, he'll be ahead of Cole Palmer. Do you know what I mean?
But if you have it, that's a fair point.
They're at the very top, though, aren't they? They're Man City. You know, we're not
Yeah.
right at the very top.
No,
Yeah.
I'd tell you what, I'd take Cole Palmer and Heartbeat on loan. He'll give Gibbs White some
Yeah,
competition.
100%.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, Cole Palmer. I like Cole
I
Palmer.
like Cole Palmer. I like him a lot.
But that's my point. We've seen Cole Palmer play Premier League football. We've not saw this guy play. I'll pay 11 million for Cole Palmer because we've seen him. But this guy, and people in the comments, right? If you know who we're talking about, I'm trying to get a picture up so people know who he is. 11 million people. Would you get him? Yes or no? I'll put a poll up and see yes or no because I don't know about it.
But I think, though, we need to give. This is the point because he can play on the wing and he can play as an attacking midfielder, right? Gibbs White can do both of those. I think we need some competition for Gibbs White.
Yeah.
Personally, myself.
Yeah.
Because Cole Palmer would fit the bill for that because when he has his chances, and like you said, Ben, you're 100% right. He's slowly growing into that Man City team. You know, he's been playing a lot in the FA Cup. He's had some League Cup games. I still call it the League Cup, not the bloody stupid energy drink cup.
Yeah.
But the League Cup, and you know, he's been growing and growing as a player. You know, just like Johnson, but obviously Johnson did it at a lower level first. But it's giving Gibbs White competition, and you know, maybe giving Johnson some competition. But it's having that strength in depth, and you want competition at Forest. You know, and sometimes you want to give Steve Cooper an headache, don't you? You know, especially in the Premier League, you've got to have some strength in depth. 100%.
The 6 people in, if you can do a massive favour for me, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you know. And comment below, people, if there's any players that you feel Forest should get, please mention them in the comment section. Let me ask you, Lennon, midfield-wise, like I said, I think Forest definitely need to improve in that situation. And people in the comments get involved as well. What player do you think, be realistic, Forest need in that midfield?
I think. Well, let's look at what we've got in. We've got Mangala, Yates, Danilo. That would be my 3 to start the season off with if we was going kind of for that. But I do think we need another DM. Only because obviously, you know, you got Kiate who is getting on a little bit. So injury, you know, and look, we've struggled with injury season proper. Like it's been honestly, it's been awful. Honestly, listen, I'm the one. I'll be the first one to come forward and say I've been like this. It's unreal the amount of injuries that we've had this season. It's unbelievable. But I would say we do need another DM. But after that, so I've just seen a comment. Amrabat from wherever he used to be.
We're not getting him. We're not getting him.
Used to be at Watford.
We're not getting him. There's not a chance.
I would say a DM for me.
Any player that you feel that we need? Like, I know Tyler Adams has been mentioned.
Yeah, Tyler Adams is on my list. To be fair, I think we kind of need like if it was me, I know we won't get him because he's kind of in that Palace side. We need kind of like a Decore who plays for like a you know what I mean, like a player like that. I think someone who's quite mobile, quite big, and you know you look at him, you're like Jesus Christ. You know he's a player. He's got good feet, this, that, and the other. He can defend. Just needs so much strong in it. But I don't personally have any problems with the midfield that we've got at the moment. To be fair,
but we need to prove that. I personally think, and people in the chat, if you agree, disagree, that's where we struggled last season in the midfield. Because we kept chopping, changing. I know there was loads of injuries, but personally, I think we definitely need to bring a better midfield. You know, I know. I'm not going to mention Jojo Serri because he just.
They talk about Ward-Prowse as well.
No happening. We can wish.
I know we've not been noted whatever, but a player of that caliber again, he's not really good. I don't know if he's linked with anyone. I've not really been paying attention, but you know, a player like that ain't going to be staying in the Championship, is he? Let's be honest.
No.
There's players I've seen in the DoreOnTour from Leeds. Adam, do you think he's a good player?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. I like him. Yeah, he's a very good player. I watched him play for Italy against England.
This is why I had an argument. Sorry to put in that. This is where I had an argument with Lennon as well the other day because he's had Premier League experience.
Did you say he didn't want him?
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. This is what I said, people. I said because DoreOnTour, he's had Premier League experience and he's one of the players that will win you games. And that was my point there, then. He's someone that's had Premier League. This
I would take him. Hey, I would take him.
Adam, would you take him, Adam? Would you take him?
Absolutely. And you Lennon, you mentioned about I wanted to get this out here. You mentioned about getting a DM in, and he can play centre midfield, and he's on a free because his contract's running out, and he knows Mangala very well for the Belgian team. I'd go out for Tillemans. I go out for Tillemans because he knows Bangala well. He can help Yates. He's
going to Villa.
Experience. He's
going to Villa.
Yeah, he's at Villa now.
Never mind. Oh, is he right? Okay, I'm not seeing that, so never mind.
It's a shout though. Someone like that though. I'd put Tillemans in it.
Yeah, that's a shame really because he's a bit like a Gary Gardner. You remember Gary Gardner when he was at Forest? He's not afraid to belt one out, and he's not afraid to go forward a bit either. But never mind. But yeah, Willigan Onto. I watched him when he played against England for Italy, and he was absolutely. He had a fantastic game, and to be fair to him, he had a very good game down here against us when we beat him 1-0. So, on that left hand side, on the left wing, especially towards the Trent, he was just causing us no ends of problems. But he's one of those players you just don't know really. But he's still a young lad as well, so I'd take him. And see what happens, really.
Right, another player that someone's mentioned, Chris has mentioned, Emily Smith-Rowe. Right? Do you think he's a player that can give right competition?
I like Smith-Rowe. I mean, he's risen up the system with Arsenal, hasn't he? Doing pretty well with England at the moment, the youth team. I think he actually got into the first team at one stage for England.
Yeah, he did.
Briefly.
Yeah.
He's a very good young player, but thing that will kind of concern me is he's just had a long-term injury, hasn't he? I think with Arsenal, so that's not ideal if we're going to be signing, especially with our injury record. Do we really want to sign someone that's been injured half the season? But I would take him, if I'm honest. But that is a kind of a worry. But he is versatile. If he can play out wide, he can definitely challenge Gibbs wide. So if we're talking about Premier League experience and signing youngsters, then Smith-Rowe's certainly got that. So yeah, I don't think we're not linked with him, are we? But I would take him if we were, in my opinion.
There's another player that I saw today we've been linked with. I'm going to ask you, Adam. What about Mason Holgate? Another player they've been linked with today. Defender. Didn't really get much game time with Everton last season. What's your mind on that? As well, people get in the comments. What do you think about Mason Holgate? We've been linked with him today. Adam.
Based on what I've seen, and I've watched him against us as well for Everton, I think he's a bit of a hot and cold player. I think he's not. I know he's not had so much game time as of late, but after what I've watched, we need a bit of consistency at the back. And Mason Holgate, I don't know whether if he's. For me, what I've seen, he's been hot and cold. We need some consistency. I know I'm not trying to go off that position subject, but another name I want to mention, I don't think we're going to ever get him, but you never know. It might be worth a punt. Donny van der Beek.
Is he
Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's not been playing any games. And this is a Netherlands international, not long ago, was playing, in a semi-final of the Champions League, just lost by the skin of the teeth to a Pochettino Spurs on away goal, and he was one of their best players. He's another mobile player, and he can get back and help the defence out a little bit. So it's not a bad shot, but I don't know whether we'll be able to afford his wages. I don't know, but he's barely getting any games at Manchester United. And if Dean Henderson comes in on a permanent deal, he knows him. It won't be a bad shout. It not really, and he's still a fairly young player. I think he's only about 25, so he's still quite a fairly young player. So it's not a bad shout. But with Holgate, based on what I've seen, a bit on cold for me. And but you never know. It could change the player. You know what Cooper's like. He can change players just like that. You know, they could become, you know, from a really poor player to an absolute world-class player, you know what I mean? And that's Cooper. So you never know. But based on what I see with Mason Holgate, he's hot and cold. It may be worth him as a backup, maybe, I don't know. But it's just hot and cold based on what I've seen.
I was just going for the comments as well. In game said Mason Holgate, no way. He was a guy that got skinned by Newcastle. Another one. This from Mark. We've linked with Holgate before, and he said he wasn't consistent enough. That's definitely one. Scott F says Holgate is new for me. Conor Cody all day for me.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Plenty of experience.
Yeah, experienced Premier League player. We definitely need that kind of player as well.
And he's got great personality as well, and he's good in the dressing room, and we need other players like that as well. Definitely.
People, there's 76 people in. If you can do a massive favour for me, please do hit the like button. As well, for man, I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter as well. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't. I always go through Twitter. I don't know if Rad's on Twitter. Have you seen the PSV owner has been talking with Forest today?
Yeah, I saw that.
Imagine oil money at Forest. I would love that. Have you, Adam or Len, have you heard? Have you seen it?
No, I don't use Twitter, so I've not seen it on Facebook or anything either. So
yeah, the PSG owner has been talking to the Forest board. So
wow,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm just saying what I see on Twitter. I'm just saying if it's Raz, what do you think of it? If we got oil money at Forest?
Kylian Mbappe.
I mean, the next Newcastle then coming here. I mean, we wouldn't complain.
I love that.
We wouldn't complain.
We complain?
No, I mean,
I heard different. To be
controversy
fair,
over
I was talking to the owner because they wanted Chris Wood.
You're so
it.
wrong.
Wooden and Shelby if you want.
They can take Shelby
Yeah,
and
Shelby.
Harry Arter.
No bonus in wave his magic wand.
They can take Harry Arter. They can take Harry Arter if they want. Even in Saudi Arabian people, rich people, they can take Harry Arter as well. Fantastic player. If any Saudi Arabians watching this, Harry Arter is a fantastic player.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Take him, please. Scott F says PSG are looking for Premier investment. I think it was Forest. Well, they can't cast Leeds because they're in the Championship now. No, it's QPR, wasn't it? It's QPR they was looking at. And then there was, Forest and Aston Villa. There was talks about him having that. So you never know. We could have oil money and then we could play European football next season. So
just to mention this, Ben, perhaps they might want to invest with us because they never won a Champions League.
Who's that?
PSG. Never won a Champions League, so they might a bit of a guilty conscience right there.
Don't try and cause trouble with PSG because people, if there's any PSG people in the comments, would you want that? Some money come from PSG owner.
Do you know what?
Oil money.
I would.
I don't know. I don't know because then it gives people an excuse to be like, oh, because look how much shit we give like people like teams like Man City and stuff for like, or oil money and this, that, and the other and everything else in Newcastle. And then if we go and do it, we're just jumping on the bandwagon, aren't we?
No, give us the oil money. We'll take the oil money.
But at the end of the day, Lennon, I know it took years for Man City to do this, but you've got to, no matter how much money you've got to get that business done on the pitch. Simple as that. Look at PSG. All that money they spent on, the Messis and Neymars and all that lot. And what have they really achieved? They've only won that French league, haven't they? They've not won like I don't know if they won a domestic competition. Probably have done in the past few years, but they're not. They've done like a Celtic, haven't they? If you think about it, because they're not really. They just won like their own league, year in year out, and win the odd domestic trophy. But they've not done anything else since the likes of Messi, Ramos, Neymar, Mbappe, all these players, and they're not done anything. So, but you know, you've got to get the business done on the pitch at the end of the day. And Man City have gone there and done it. So it's one of those, isn't it?
Before we do go, and ask the panel, what one player would you love at Forest? Realistically, what one player would you want? So, people in the comments, there's 74 people, and if you can do a big favour, get in the comment section. One player that you will love at Nottingham Forest, just the one. Okay, let me ask you, Adam. One player at Forest, realistically.
Oh, you put me in a tough spot. Put me in a tough spot because I've got quite a few, mate. That's a tough one. I'd say Inacho, but obviously, you know, just to link up with Tyrone, just having that, you know, friendship and everything again at a club. But for me, you know, based on what he did last season, before he got injured, for me, Dean Henderson, he's the one player I'd love to be back at Forest. So I'm going for Dean Henderson.
Before I do get Rads, there's quite a lot of ones coming in. D-Cap says Tyler Adams, DM. Loddy, I don't think he's coming back. No, I don't think that's happening. Scotty F says Colin Cody, not a tough shout. Jonathan Tarr, I know we was linked with him start of last season. Who does he play for? Is it Bayer Leverkusen? Centre back?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Player. Russell says realistic Hudson-Odoi. See, this is the kind of player I want at Forest. His experience as well, not like the Man City winger Lennon.
He's been linked to a team in Saudi Arabia, hasn't he? He's another one.
Lennon, don't try that, Lennon. You did not want him. You didn't want him. No, Lennon, don't try and backtrack what you said. Lennon wanted him.
Bro, listen, I want him. That could be Manu Sami Amiobi, man. You know.
Adam Meat says Tammy. That'd be a good signing as well. Tammy's injured till January. Who else is there? Right, Rads, one player. Who would you want?
I'm going to be boring and just say Dino.
Why is everyone stating like Dino?
I just want that goalkeeper situation sorted out.
Yes, we definitely need it.
I just love, you know, he's a great goalkeeper. He quite clearly is very invested in the club. He clearly wants to come back to the club. United want to sell him, which is a big bonus for us. And, you know, a bit like Samba, he's got that attitude to him, which I think really goes in. You know, it's as good as Navas was for us. He didn't quite have that personality like Henderson. So,
No.
I mean, there's lots of players I'd love to come to us. I'd love Lolly to come back, but I don't think he will. But for me, I'd have to say Henderson. I want that to be sealed as soon as possible.
Yeah, keeper, definitely. Last but not least, Lennon. Who's your ideal player that you love at Forest?
There's only one player that I want. That's Carvalho.
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
Right. People in comments about what? No, you wasn't joking. You wasn't.
I was joking.
No, you was not. Right.
You actually.
You was.
I was joking, bro.
Amiobi.
You're on about Fabio.
It's got to be Amiobi, isn't it? Getting back on a free, man. 100%. No, right. I'll be serious now. Do you know what? There's obviously two. But the one that I think that we could possibly get is obviously is Henderson, which is looking thingy. But I want to be different. I'd say Jonathan Tarr, or if we're looking for a striker, I've always wanted that Lewis Openda from Lens. Who he was linked with, to be fair.
Yeah.
And if he, it'd be good to see. It'd be a fun one anyway. You know what I mean? He's a goal scorer, one of the fastest players in that league. Never know.
Okay, so everyone has an opinion. But before we go, we're going to go with a really early situation. Where do you think Forest finished in the league? We can start earlier, but we know we won't confirm until to the start of the season. So where do you think Forest will finish, people in chat? Where do you think? Right now. Rads, where do you think Forest will finish right now?
Based off how the score's looking right now, I don't think it'll be any higher. But with signings, which are definitely going to happen, I do think we can rise up a little. I'm not going to be too...
With no goalkeeper? with no goalkeeper.
I'm saying, when we sign.
No. With this squad we've got now.
Oh, right now.
People in the comments, with the squad we've got right now. Not because of what's going to happen in the future, but right now.
With our main left back gone then, and
Horvath is class.
Yeah, Horvath's all right, and same for Henderson, but they're not quite what we need. So I'd just say I'm going to sit on the fence and say 16th still. But
with no goalkeeper. With no goalkeeper.
Do you want me to say we're going to get relegated or something?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, championship all the way.
We haven't got. I'm not trying to disrespect Wayne Hensey at all, or George, my guy George. George Selby, no.
I know. We need to get at least one or two goalkeepers in to sort that out.
Okay.
But,
So what's yours, Rads?
Right now, I'll just stay where we are, 16. But
okay,
Right
then, Adam, what do you think we'll finish? Right now, the team we've got now.
Right now.
No signings. Right now.
15th.
Okay.
15th. Yeah, I'm just going to go for that, just 15th. But if it could be a few more signings, I think we'll finish 11th, maybe 10th to a push.
Okay. People, I'll start seeing like that. I'll be doing a video of everyone what are the predictions of the league as well. So watch out for that as well. If you want to get involved, message me on Twitter or whatever. Brennan, right now, what do you think Forest will finish?
I'm not listening to you.
Why are you not listening to me?
Because I'm not. We're signing Henderson. I don't need to think we've got no goalkeeper. We're not going to be showing
No. We haven't got him yet. He's not a Forest player.
But when he comes, then you can be like, oh.
No, Lennon. Where do you think Forest are finishing?
With Hennessy in goal?
Huh?
With Hennessy in goal?
Yes. I'm just being honest. I'm just getting it out there.
To be fair, I'd rather stick Horvath in goal. I don't know. I think we'd finish. If we had the squad we had now, without a goalkeeper and a left back, it's kind of looking sticky. But I'd say.
That's what I'm saying. Be honest.
I'll go 15th or 15th, 16th.
You know what? We can't disrespect even Horvath if we did have him in goal.
Horvath did all right for us when he played, but the Premier League's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
And that's what I'm trying to say. I just want people to be honest. That's all. But well, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm keeping out of it. I'm not saying we're Forest to finish. No, I'm joking. Right now, with no left back, even off in goal. 17th. This is the team right now. Right now. 17th.
Just stick Wall in goal if we're really.
Just stick
him in goal. Get him some gloves. He'll do anything for the badge.
Absolutely.
As well. Before we do go, shout out to Eve. Will you be doing any calls before the show? Yes, I will. Before the season starts, we'll be doing calls as well. So watch out for Eve as well.
What's happening with Darling with Des now? What's happening with Darling with Des?
He's banned. He's banned from the channel.
Des ain't welcome, Randy.
Des is not welcome. I'm joking, people.
Des, we love you, man. We love you, Des.
We love you, really, Des.
No, I don't love him. I don't love him. I love his dog more than him. But yeah, people, it's been a great show. Thank you to Rad. Make sure everyone subscribes to Rad. Shout out to Adam and Lennon. Don't try to argue me. Don't ever argue me ever again on the last chat. He tries to argue me every single time about.
Listen, it's been a long time. You just miss me a little bit. That's why.
I don't miss you at all, my friend. I'm joking. I don't miss you at all. But yeah, shout out to Frankie Lennon for coming.
Subscribe.
Make sure everyone subscribes to my channel. You got any music out or you ain't got time?
Yeah, I've got my friend I'm gonna shout out quickly if that's all right. My boy, professional boxer, his name's Liam Dring. He's fighting on a professional card this Saturday in Mansfield. And if you look on my channel, obviously I'll put it wherever, but if you just type this name in, you'll find it on YouTube.
You see it.
I've got a track coming out in a few days. It's going to be his ring walk song, but it's a banger. So just show him some love and some support. And yeah,
make sure everyone subscribes to Young thing. It's local. It's there as well. So make sure everyone does that. Make sure everyone subscribes to Raz. Because Raz just went past 5K in your Rads.
Yes.
So that's
Thank you.
Well done. So make sure people after this, make sure you go on straight to Raz's channel and go and subscribe to this channel. Make sure we get to 6K. I don't know
That's
why.
the
I don't know
next
why.
target.
It does,
6K.
I get upset with this. Raz has done it as long as me. He's worked hard like me, and it should be on 10K, just like me. And
Rad's good thing is, I spoke to Ben last night, and he did say if you get to 10K by the end of the year, he's going to give you that diamond play button. So it's something to look forward to, isn't it?
yeah,
There we go. That's perfect motive.
no, yo, listen. This is last time.
Yo, go had some controversy about it.
Right, before we go for this out, thank you, Justin. Peace and love for that. Thank you, Scott, for watching as well. This is from, is it Russia? You Red? So, yeah, so people, it's been a pleasure. Rads, Lennon, and Adam, thank you, everyone.
Pleasure.
As well, people, watch out for like myself and Rads. We'll be doing loads of Forest content, so watch out for both of the shows. But yeah, it's been a good show. Thank you for everyone. Make sure you do hit the like button before you leave. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Peace and love, people. And one more thing, up the Forest.
Yeah.